beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. Let's get started. Now this video is inspired by fated beginnings and new chapters, supercharged energy, astrological correspondence and timing, karmic plot twists, and destined events that redirect your life's path. For group 1, you have the universal mind and copper. For group 2, you have the cosmic oracle and highlight egg. For group 3, you have the sun and red jasper heart. And for group 4, you have, I believe, the divine star oracle. Yep. With smoky quartz. And I know it looks like the card. I thought that was so cool. So I'll go over a little bit about each of your crystals in your pal. If you're pulled to more than one pal, watch them all. Trust your intuition, what guided you here, and leave behind the rest. If you need more time to make your selection, feel free to pause the video, but we'll go ahead and get started with group 1. Alright, group 1, welcome to your video. Let's get started with your crystal stone selection. Copper is widely revered in spiritual and metaphysical practices as a powerful energy conductor that bridges the gap between the physical and spiritual realms. It's also believed to amplify intentions, channel positive energy, and balance the chakras while grounding excess emotional charges. Now, just as a conduit of electricity, copper is used to move, enhance, and transmit spiritual energy. It is a favored metal for wire wrapping crystals and building energy grids because it magnifies the vibration of nearby stones. So you guys actually have magnified the energy of all of the other nearby stones. I wouldn't be surprised, group 1, if there's a connection. Okay, I'll just say that. Copper is believed to align clear and balance, as well as hold together the chakras, promoting a smooth flow of life force energy throughout the body. Now, if your interest is in connecting to a higher realm, your higher self, this serves as an energetic bridge. It is thought to facilitate communication with higher realms, helping you receive divine guidance and boosting your psychic intuition. Your cards have been shuffled, so have no fear. Group 1, your first card is Purpose and Duty, and the number 9. Now, I take the first card and the first number to be something very symbolic, all right? So we're talking about, what is that, September? Maybe important for some of you guys. Could talk about the timing, and it does fall slightly after, let me see, the Stargate portal, because we're looking at portals of opportunity. So if there are any specific moon phases, right, the sun sign, rising sign, things in your natal chart or your personal horoscope, just be mindful to implement that. If not, don't let me overwhelm you with information. But you guys have Purpose and Duty coming out first, okay, for your first house. That could be also a part of your identity. So connecting, recharging, having that access, as well as that capability, could be suggested at the time. Okay. Now, I also want to add that this card, for some of you, is in a past position. So you could have questions about past life and also about how to align with your deeper calling. The next card you have, very beautiful, very transparent, okay? You have layers connected to the number 17, which is also connected to the star. It tells me that there is more beneath the surface and Spirit wants you to look deeper. Ooh. Now see, this is where it gets juicy, because this is similar. I want you to see this. This is something with my one hand band, okay? Can you see the leaf? I'm going to do the card like this so you can kind of see it. It's in the hand, right? But it's kind of transparent. Now look at this leaf. It's not transparent. There's something missing. So that's why you can see beneath the layers. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on there. Now, I know that it says lovers, but I honestly feel like it's more so about the imagery. However, in this deck, it does talk about union, harmony, relationship choices, and alignment. This card also talked about alignment. So I'm just going to bet my last $2 that there's something significant in the near future when it comes to fated destiny sort of events or transformatory, if that's a word. We're talking about alignment and with your deeper calling. But I'm getting that it's also through your choices and lovers. So let's see. Why I had to say that like an auntie. Now you have inspiration, study. You have the number 32, which is a very historic master number. And to get there, it has taken a lot of, learning, research, aligning, greatness. Okay. So I love that for you in what you wish to obtain. Some of you have a past life that may include mastery. And it's like you've reincarnated, and without those memories or being able to gather those missing pieces, you don't feel, like a master. There could be some unsure, because I want to say insecurities, but it's just a feeling of kind of like not feeling ready yet, needing to know more, digging, or just feeling like you need more inspiration, more time. But this card points to learn, explore, and seek knowledge. Now, I'm going to lay all of the cards out so that we can draw a full story, but we're just going through them all individually. We have giver and karma. And notice the similarity in purpose and duty. Okay. It's also that something that comes right before inspiration and study. So we're going to see. We also have vulnerability by layers and the number 21. I'm getting the world card here. So for some of you, there is a huge opportunity, transformational transition, and possibly your career and finances, as well as your life purpose or what you do for a living. I'm getting that for you, group 1. You have patterns and systems, okay, with lovers. So just be mindful of that. That feels a little self-explanatory. And then you have 14 for detox. Now, I feel that releasing what is toxic physically and emotionally or spiritually is important, because you don't have people in your corner, it seems, that are supportive to this change. There's something that's going to change about your relationship demographics and the choices that you make, and coming out of alignment with things that don't support it. You may have people that don't believe you have gifts or don't believe you're as important as I think you are. Okay. And those are some things that are shedding. I also feel that your vulnerability to possibly attract these experiences in people can be dissected in layers, because you have a big heart, because you have a strong sense of loyalty and duty. And I feel that some of you even blame yourself for things or feel that it's karmic. Okay. Now, I won't leave out group 1 that some of you could be with a karmic partner because it has an electrifying connection. But this relationship is possibly out of alignment with your soul purpose. And in the near future, I'm not trying to, poke the bear. But sometimes if we don't take heed to our own intuitions or guidance and advice, there is a catalytic situation that thumps us on out of it. And I think that's a blessing, even if it doesn't feel like it, or you get caught off guard. You ever had a breakup or just something major that was devastating? I have. But then as time passes, if you keep moving forward on your purpose, connected to spirit, doing the work, you do sometimes look back, especially in the recent past, because of the transits. It pushed most of us into an energy of, why did I even like them? What we used to do and what we used to like, it isn't the same. So that's a beautiful energy to laugh back and reflect on. But there are those moments, like I said, that catch us off guard, and it's not that pleasant. And I do understand that. And I'm not saying you're going to have a pleasant and unpleasant experience in the near future. I'm saying that there's possibly something out of alignment with a perspective, relationship, career, something. It's possibly out of alignment with your highest good. And your vulnerability, so I could take some of the pressure off you. I want you to be gentle with yourself and the situation. I feel that because of your nature, your purpose, the duty, and you being a giver, you could have been vulnerable to, the experiences, but it's like everything isn't there. And I'm telling you, I think the one thing that's pulling me the most out of everything, because first of all, it was purpose and duty. I thought I had it all figured out about group 1. But what's really getting me is the 2 hands, or the 2 hands, right? And this leaf where layers is a full leaf, but it's transparent. Lovers is a solid leaf, but you see, through it because some of it's missing. So you only feel like that's kind of like me and your reading, group 1. You only feel like you got it figured out because all of the pieces aren't together. But they do come together. So this is where, because I kind of give little tips and advice as well as hidden messages because I'm a channeler. So any of you that are readers or intuitives, we were talking about how we get all these different messages and it could be like the same cards. Because you feel different things and spirit will point out different things. And thankfully, the journalist and the artist, they meditate and are deeply spiritual and have connection. So it's like spirit whispers some stuff to them. They make it for us. And here we all are, right? So in this sense, detox isn't really giving me as much. There's something, we need to let go of in our systems or in our environment. It's more so showing me this full leaf. Because we start with the trees and the branches. Hear me out. Just roll with me. Just chill. And then we get to this see-through leaf. Then we get to the broken leaf. But by the end of it, I feel it's like the full picture. Zoomed in. Okay? Now the clouds above sometimes could talk about a little bit of confusion. And the water in this photo could talk about with how we feel, our emotions, subconscious, or even our consciousness. So we're confused or possibly needing clarity in a direction or even the identity because there's so much. We have the flowers here with the outer space at the bottom of vulnerability. Then we have the rabbit who's very alert. So you know things, but you still feel like something is missing. And it's like, well, what's missing? Group 1, I want to know. So I want to be nosy. Now, for some of you, it is definitely about a person. But others of you, I just feel like it's life. So let's see what's missing. Or your careers. I did point that out. Others. Okay. There's some information left out. Now let's talk to the relationship people first. All right. Because there's some identity confusion, I believe, for an individual if it comes to their identity. Like I said, for someone else in a relationship, there's something that could have taken place and multiple people are involved and there's some confusion behind it. All right. And there's a need for us to pull back some so that your intuition will work. Or I feel like once the clouds clear, the full vision will be there, and feel free to zoom in, at that point. Now, When it comes to vulnerability, I feel that there could also be an energy of safety for some, because this rabbit is on alert. And it's like, what are you looking for? It's like, okay. For someone, okay, I can definitely tell because of your give and take, and you don't want to take no more losses, honey, because you done took more than enough, right? So it's like staying on alert for how people feel, what people think. It could give you a racing mind. I'm not gonna hold you, okay? This is partially insecurities, even though somebody's gonna disagree, and I respect that. And it's also partially possibly the behavior of the others around you, but here is the law of attraction. Okay? We have balancing out our energy and like what we're devoted to. So some of you, there could be transformations and changes when it comes to what do you do every day? What are you devoted to? Where is your energy flowing? Where are you paying attention with your awareness? Okay? And then I can't get past the layers where there's more beneath the surface. Look deeper. And it's like, well, Spirit, what do we need to look deeper into? A system, a pattern of choices, lovers. For some, I'm just going to blurt out some keywords for the collective here. For some of us, observe reoccurring cycles and hidden structures. Okay? Because you're looking out for something, but Spirit says that there's more to it. So it's like where you're looking could be an issue. And for some of you online, I don't know. Because we have a journey, a gathering, and the tribe, that's in the physical. That's outside. But if we are developing through social media, if we are dating through, online, nothing is wrong with that. But still, there's some message about it. And if that's a personal thing that kind of nudges at you, then trust your intuition. And whatever your brain, like you're going to get a little whisper or an idea or a thought, run with that. Okay. I just had to see, it's like there's something beneath the surface. And then for some of you, it was the event, or it is the event. It's the group of people. And for some of you, it's you. It's something in you that you haven't fully discovered, and I feel that it has a connection to spirit, also your purpose, and why you are the way you are. It still fits. It's all full circle though, because some people that have a certain nature that are closer to spirit, that may be more spiritual, more submissive, more loyal, more all of those words. Okay, because some people don't like submissive or feminine, right? But justice is here with balance, forgiveness, apologies, also discernment, correction, and a feeling of pride and justice. So wanting something right. Okay. That's what I got. Somebody, okay, that's the last message. Yeah, there may need to be, because I can't tell you what to do and say somebody need to. I don't do that. But there may need to be deeper consultation within self for something that we may need to forgive and observe when it comes to still this broken belief. The damage is done from the past, possibly from our own choices, or more specifically maybe others. And then I'll even be more specific and say lovers. And what's unfortunate is one, not forgiving energy that's strong in a mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, grandparent, or past life okay, is possibly generating repetition in response, react, decision making, choices, type. I'm getting that, right? I don't like to point fingers and I don't want to sound judgy. I'm just trying to relay the message. Because my opinion do not count. I do not have one. It is all good over here, okay? When it comes to me trying to relay the message is what I'm saying. Okay, so being aware of the patterns is big. I wonder what giver karma is. When we talk about new beginnings and transformations, that's going to create changes in your relationship status. For some of you, if this is career, it's like a more vibrant, like your path, okay, and who you are, how you incarnated in this life and what you came with. For some of you, makes you susceptible to hunters, because there's a constellation that talks about the hunter and the sisters and all that, because we did have gathering and tribe. So some of you, this could be astrological and it's like some hidden messages to look in your chart, or wherever the seven sisters is, or the story, the folklore of the hunter and the sisters, that's astrological. So it could be significant to you, a date, a time, or your own natal chart. Look into it. Okay. What else we have? Because this just seemed more, what do they call it? I don't always say abundance. Sometimes I say, is it prosperity? Because that's like plus, it's like you got material gain plus, because we want all the good. We don't want just like more, and then, are open to other ailments that make the physical not even enjoyable. So I like prosperity with my abundance, because I want to have the health and the energy to create and spend my money. I want to have the mental capacity, to get up and do things, and you can't buy that. So it's like, I want all of it. And for some of you, it is there. There are multiple options and opportunities that are coming to you, because this is like, now if I look at clouds, right, and then channeling, it's like you smart, because this is no tarot, it's oracle, but I'm feeling 7 of Cups here. That's why for the relationship, this person isn't my favorite, because they're always doing something. And then what's toxic of me to bring up, because this is a mixed crowd, there are some of you that have already identified a karmic, wrote them off, working on forgiveness, but there's more layers to even that, where this karmic may have some past life connection and may have a deeper soul connection or purpose that you guys share. And it's like, damn, I done got this pookie out my system, and you sitting here telling me it's exactly what I thought it was. So anyway, but yeah, something being replenished and wholly, fully. And it's like, what brings about that replenishment? Observation. What do you observe? Like, if you observed your emotions, if you observed what you did every day, if you observed your thinking, because this racing mind here, that's multifaceted, multi-layered, that we don't see everything yet. And there's a need to stay kind of grounded. Or maybe that's you. This could just be a person who is grounded and purpose driven, trying to figure some things out. And I love that, because we do so much on this channel. I couldn't even just dedicate it to, I wanted to dedicate it wholeheartedly to past life regression, soul purpose. But that just felt kind of low vibrational and dark, even though it's my gift. It is like my strength, actually. Which tells, I'm, transparent. It tells a lot about me. Like, oh, you struggle with your dark side? No, I am the light, the life, and the whatever the other one was. But anyways, I'm so passionate also about uplifting the community. It is very important to me, like personally, to share a perspective, because that's what I was given. That's the opportunity, second chance at life, that I feel like spirit breathed life into me. it came with a new perspective. And I was like, damn, if people had a new perspective, we stopped doing some things if we knew, we were doing the things, right? So that's important. So anyway, long story short, a lot of the message are full house. I could tell you about your past life. I could channel messages for the present. And of course, being an astronaut, we can talk a lot about the future, but manifesting, that's the point I was getting to. If y'all thought I was drifting off, I'm not. Just kind of long-winded and poetic. Manifesting does require work. That work differentiates in different phases of our personal lives or just among us and the collective. And it's like, what are you getting at? Well, if you're purpose-driven and you have a lucky opportunity with this world card and Wheel of Fortune energy, where I also get justice, maybe even Libra, which is October. So for some of you, I got August, September, and October coming up. August and September is here said, okay, bet. So it's like early Libra. It's the same thing. My point was, because I ain't lost it. I almost did. I ain't lost it yet, y'all. Manifesting requires more than just the affirmations if you want it to actually work. Now, if you just want to be a student, a forever student, and say positive things and know everything and buy all the books and have all the crystals and shit still shaking, cool. Because that is possible. And that's who I was. Honestly, if you ask me, because now where I feel like we've evolved as a collective, because it's not just me, it's a bunch. The crystals, the cards, all the stuff we buy, the lifestyle, the things we think we know are less significant than our own wisdom and observation, as well as actions and habits. I promise you. Maybe those things help us stay in the mind frame. I do appreciate that. To move us away from distractions, possibly give us something to do outside of the things that we shouldn't be doing. Appreciate it. So they are necessary. But your own awareness, what's deep down in your heart, your ability to devote and be loyal to whatever your ideology is, whatever you're working toward, but also our reaction to the inevitable, which could be confusion, which could be our own habits, bad habits, good habits, which could be our environment, the people in it, how we respond and react to them in life. And I can just go on and on and on. It's long-winded because it ain't, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it, baby. So it is a lot, but it's still just a little. Because if I could sum it up, if I was just about to fall over in this chair right now and they said, what's your last words as a super guru lady? Damn, that's hard. Because like, what would I say? It would be something about love or perspective. I'm positive. Mostly perspective. And I'm only saying love because I'm in love with like the Holy Spirit, and it's so graceful. Without it, I don't know where I'd be. So I would say something about love, like to hopefully get you guys to do that, which I preach to the choir about, like heart activation, Merkaba. And then once you do that, right, and you got something peaceful guarding you, then you can get into other stuff like Kundalini rising and all that, because that is good. However, it's a rabbit hole with all them different activations. So I say start with your heart. Okay, boom. That's what my advice would be then. Start with your heart. Anyways, okay. Anything else for group 1? Oh, it's the same thing. Every time I shuffle the cards, you guys get the same card. So I feel like a lot of you guys are unicorns. You have a strong connection to spirit. This message is from spirit, and I feel like I was able to deliver it properly because of the direction of the horse. This message could have a lot to do with past. So if you've moved past a lot of what I said, then this is just your confirmation and should give you a smile at the end of the day. Okay, others of us, the message is about nutrition, where we're putting our decisions and choices and our patterns because of our system. Your system could be you. So this detox is applicable for some, even though I tried to like make it philosophized. And then lastly, we have what I think connects with this layer. Since I put so much energy on layer, this could be a big deal. Radical honesty and self-acceptance. Maybe somebody getting vulnerable. So I love that. If there is, because I talked about these twin flames, these complicated lovers, okay, there could be a moment of vulnerability and honesty, radical honesty, from a karmic to a giver while they focus on their life purpose. So letting up off this relationship for a little bit did its justice. Okay. And I do hope that it helps. All right, group 2. Sorry about that. You have the Dark Nebula and one of my favorites, Howlite, and in egg form. Okay, eggs are all about children. Children are not just, isolated to humans. It's also your creation, something being born, child, something ready to hatch. It could talk about an experience, a creative project, a relationship, your origin, or the origin story of something. Okay, and I love it while I'm sitting there messing with it. Now this is very interesting, so have some patience. Grab you a tea, your coffee, a soda pop, whatever y'all into. I'm not promoting it. I just can't tell grown people what to do. Whatever you like, grab it. And the reason why I say that is because it's something to understand and unpack. It's a high vibrational feeling that I received to do these messages. So that includes all 4 pals, new beginnings, fated transformations, which means you can't go wrong. It's going to happen in this energy. Now anything can change, but for the most part, this is how it's laying out, right? So when I saw Dark Nebula, I know that dark matter is awesome, and you guys got antimatter. So I was like, okay, something to go with this. Now I won't lie, microgravity was the first card, so we're gonna start there. But I just feel like it's something, because when I did this, I was like trying to understand how that went with today, right? And then I see this core, right? And then these little, action little figures here you see that at the top of the ball that is giving us something. I'm like, girl, what is this lady talking about? Well, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Pynx. All right. And, you'll love it. You'll love it here. So hold on, I want to look up something real quick, and then we'll get started. But I was like, Spirit, what is this? And it was like, if I had to take my time with it, we all got to take our times with it. And then I'm positive there's somebody in the collective looking at it right now that just got it. Maybe you have like past knowledge of it, or it just hit you, in the soul, okay, or solar plexus. The forces are not absolutely zero, but they are very small. The synonym of weightlessness. So we have weightlessness is how you started the reading out. Even though I made a big deal about this, we're going to talk about it. But weightlessness started your reading out, and it talked about rest. Okay. She goes on to say, I would write more about it, but I walk with little strength. Okay. So it's kind of like someone who has more, but is being called to rest. Okay. And the screen just moved on its own, child. That's deep. Okay, I didn't expect that. I could do more. I want to do more. But it's like, I ain't come with all that for all that. Now, Antimatter reflects the opposite of manifestation in the third dimensional plane, which is where we are. It is the direct opposite of matter, which matter is what's affected by gravity, right? This means that it contains particles with the reverse charge. And what does that mean? A lack of concretion in a particular event. This whole reading is about fated events. So the contact between antimatter and matter creates transformation. And we're going to talk about that. See if it comes up. I am going to pull more cards, by the way. I'm going to try to fill her up. Okay. But energy should therefore be forced on the lower vortex of the body to receive concretion, the root energy. The center of the body will help connect the earthly and tangible planes. This will allow everything that is not able to achieve concretion to gain strength and to navigate this life. So group 2, we just got a very firm message in a roundabout way about the root chakra. Okay. And I don't know why my mind said livelihood, but that ain't what I was thinking. I was thinking energy, but my mind said livelihood, so I'm gonna go with that. I know the root chakra does have a connection to our relationship with authority figures, bosses, employment, stability, and third dimensional things. Okay. And it's like that's what's changing for you. So if you can resonate with not the most favorable experience, your transformation is huge. All right. Now with dark nebula, hiding the treasures of light, a lack of clarity and understanding. It talks about dim and blurred visibility. So the energy depletion, or there's something possibly, because this is not a medical reading. I ain't projecting none of that. I'm telling you what the cards mean and any channeled messages I receive. Okay. Now, dim and blurred visibility does talk about going in and out. And then a root chakra, actually it didn't say there was an issue with the root chakra. It said focus on it, which would help protect the other things. So for some of us, if this is a practical message coming through in a very mathematician-like way, there's something about, for you, group 2, there's a transformation that's going to help stabilize life. And I feel like with life stabilized, you'd have more time, vision, and energy for other things. But it's like your core, a core foundation, a core system, a core module, right? Because if you were a course, okay, you're not, but if you were a course, the core module, the bread and butter, okay, is going through a transformation. So this is simply a cloud of interstellar dust. It doesn't shine. It doesn't emit light. It ain't doing nothing. So I feel like it was something not doing nothing, and then something else advising us to pull from somewhere else. So if you got a person in your life, because hey, I'm a real practical sister. If something is not helping or pitching in, or you ain't doing nothing, that's a dead weight. So there's a change and a transformation possibly coming there, and where your new beginning lies. Okay, because it's like, why I ain't got no new beginning? And then it's just something pulling you down. Okay, so let's pull some more cards. Do I shuffle or pull off the top? Shuffle. Okay, Spirit says shuffle. Cool. Because sometimes I do pull off the top. Now, bottom of the deck. Oh, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, if y'all got time, I know y'all got time. Because something that pulls me to want to know more about it could be significant in my needing to interpret, or for your own visibility, for you to interpret. But when I saw it at the bottom of the deck, I was like, oh, I wonder what that means. Because nothing really hit me. So I wanted to know the interpretation of the card, because sometimes when you know that, you can tie things in somewhere in the beginning, middle, or end of a reading, or a session. So let's see, because I care to know, and I know me. If I care to know, I'm supposed to. Because I look past things, child, and for good reason. Because there's so much to know, and then you still don't know nothing. So I have learned, baby, acceptance, minding my business. My minding my business, Gene has been through the roof, child. It got me away from that doom scrolling, relationship issues, mess, drama, normal things, like normal human things. And I think that's what makes me good to be a helper, an advisor, a leader of a collective, because I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't have any issues. And that's not a brag. That is 100%, or probably Spirit gonna say, give yourself some credit. But mostly that divine intervention, baby, that started some time ago, and how it's developing itself and my allowing it to, is just life changing. So yeah, minding my business is through the roof, child. I don't want, I don't seek, I don't ask. So the spiral, moving to the virtuous cycle. Thank you, Spirit. See, I told y'all it was important. I'm taking it. I knew it. That's why when I said, Spirit, do I spool off? See, I was like, Spirit, do I pull off the top? Spirit said, no. Child, and look what we done found. Okay, this makes so much sense. Y'all see it right. It unfolded. I got excited, told one little old story, because I'm like southern and long-winded, and bam, just enough time for Spirit to do its thing. Because it's like, girl, she'd be all over the place if we don't just puff it out there. Bam. You see that? So, and this is so consistent. I love this. Okay. I stopped at the Cosmic Network, but I wanted it to be a part of us. And then everything is going up. I want to say that. So group 2, everything is going up, first of all. But our base level of energy can be easily impacted by a vicious cycle or a virtuous cycle. Saying it's like as above, so below. I wonder what these dots have in connection. And I wonder how the dots, because we got 3 dots, 2 here and 1 there, and then we got 3 dots around this orb. Child, I don't miss nothing. Anyways, a positive influence in your life is what you guys can expect in the horizon. So applicable to our theme, right? My intention, new beginnings, faded cycles, whatever I said. Okay. Yours is a positive influence, group 2. And it also tells me a little bit about the negative influences that may have pushed us in opposite directions, but this ain't the case. Now, moving to virtuous cycles, movements of inspiration, happiness, and gratitude increase our desire to love and give love, the most powerful source of energy available. Second time I've said that this week. It forms a virtuous cycle. So when people like have gratitude, now, because I don't know how far down the hole of pissant other humans are, but I can only speak from my experience when I say I'm one of the most decent people I know. And still, probably they would say she's the most pissant that I know. So I'm saying 2 things can be true. And if you, like Tupac said, like if you love hard and you sensitive, under the wrong influence or way down, or in a vicious cycle, you can be one of the most gruesome. Okay. So I know how it feels to be in the non-virtuous cycle and somebody tell me have gratitude. Like that is the last thing I wanted to hear. Like, who are you talking to and what are you talking about? Okay. However, as someone who can give you a fair professional opinion that I have been on both sides of the wall, I'm going to give you the reason. Because when people tell me to be grateful and have gratitude, I took it as submission and, good old boy, that energy that got us, fucked over in the first place. And I ain't respect that. I'm not listening to you guys, But when I got into mysticism, quantum physics, metaphysics, theology, spirituality, when I started just connecting dots that didn't have, what do you want to call it? They didn't. When you don't have a dog in the fight and you honestly just learning, right? You get truths and they spread all out. So it's going to lead you to lots of different places, and you can't be subjective or biased. So if I was like dead set, because I've been many religious things, I'm going to hold you. I have been a Muslim, Christian, Baptist, Catholic, and Gnostic Catholic in my lifetime. And I love them all. I'm going to hold you. Okay? So my point is, what was my point? No, I'm just playing. My point is, when people told me things, I looked at who was telling me and why they were telling me. I don't like all intentions. I don't like biases. But my point was, in my observation, gratitude and finding something to love. I don't care if it's just the sun coming out or the wind blowing or birds, grass. I don't care if you like finding feathers on the ground or the fact that you got running water. I have found the most strangest, most simplest things to be grateful for, with or without experiences that took me to be grateful for them. But it's medicine. It's a vibration improver. If you got some dark energy on you, it's a repellent. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because if you telling me just to do it, to be on some nice things, and ain't nobody being nice to me, the world ain't being nice to me, you want me to walk around and be nice anyway? Nah, that wasn't gonna work. But if I'm looking for a resource, if I'm looking for progress, something that works, it does. Energetically, scientifically, neurologically. And if you into like magic and all that, yeah, it works. So gratitude and love in the darkest hour, when you ain't got nothing else, that's free, strong magic that they can't bottle up. You don't need a doctor, a prescription, or no dollars. And it's fast acting. It works. So that's my free hidden message of advice for you, group 2. But anyway, if you're in a relationship, okay, because I like to talk to all of you, there's going to be a change in that cycle. And I love that, and I'm interested to see how this works, because I just finished talking about karmics, twin flames, and soulmates. So what if a karmic turns into a soulmate? And then what if we finally energetically release the karmic and move into more favorable relationships? And somehow, what if you don't give a damn about relationships altogether? You've been let all that go and focusing on your purpose, but also not being a brick wall, leads you right into the love of your life. I think that's beautiful, group 2. Now, we have the chance to live on both sides of this dual vortex of the virtuous and the vicious cycles, like an energetic yin yang. Some of you guys can thank Cancer, where Cancer falls in your chart, or Jupiter in Cancer, because I picked up that little yin yang hint. Okay, they could also be Cancer. And you know what, some of them toxic, but it ain't nobody. Well, there are some people more romantic, but Cancer moon people are so romantic. Anyways, our unique ability as or have chemistry, they got energy. Okay, so go get some. I'm just playing. Anyways, our unique ability as energy alchemists is to pass between one side and another. The decision to choose where you position yourself in the vortex lies fully in your hands. We have Portal 111. Now, I was just talking about portals and opportunities, and I don't think it's January the 11th. I think it's November 1st. So I said, Spirit was like, no, when I said October. But yes, was that the other reading? Oh, cool. Okay. So let me get y'all out their business. 111, I'll just say, is your master number. Doesn't have to be November 1st or January 11th. It just could have some significance. Maybe even their birthday, I don't know, a magic day, or just the numbers in general without a date. Okay. Now, when I saw 111 a lot, that's crazy. It was both. It served as a replenishment to my energy, because I remember seeing it when I was just being drained with a situation that I felt I was locked into. And now I'm seeing that number for me as a sweet whisper of, it won't always be like this, baby. And don't put too much energy into this. Okay. And that situation still to this day, because I'm talking about a situation when I first came into contact with like 111. This was probably, I don't know, near a decade ago. And that situation had its topsy-turvies, but it was more good than bad, and now ain't even a factor. So I feel like 111 is a crazy duality, but to me, a good thing. It just could come in a time when things don't seem good, so that's the only thing that make it seem like, you know, some remembrance, but it's a good thing to me. Okay, so anyway, now let's talk about gravitational acceleration. That's dope. So your change has to do with that energy improving. I love that. That's all I remember. That's all I heard. That's all I care about. Gravitational acceleration. Let's see here. This is like going up. I love that, because spiral is like sometimes all over the place, child. And Spirit just gave you a little message. I hope you caught it when the last couple of words was, it's in your hands. Keep that in mind. Now, gravitational attraction. Ooh, I know it was going to be some attraction. Maybe y'all be attracted to the... You see that. Don't do that. Okay. Gravitational attraction is the force which makes an object move towards the core. Look at that. Towards the core of a celestial body, dispensing with possible atmospheric resistance and constantly increasing in speed. So clear direction and force of action. So we started, this wasn't really clear, right? And then it wasn't a lot of energy behind it. Oh, honey. So if this is a relationship, baby, let me tell you something. There is going to be a separation like no other when it comes to things and people, or this person who ain't feeding into you. Or something that it could be a career. I'm telling you, you heard it, you seen it, and you look. I ain't even got over here, but I'm connecting the dots with my peripheral. But anyways, the energy flow gains momentum, strength, and determination. So here's the target, okay, and here's aiming toward it, and only it, and going up. Now spirals, things been going crazy. What's gonna happen is up for a while. And wouldn't we all benefit? Like, can we all just take a moment and hold hands and say kumbaya for that? Okay, just things going up for a while, things accelerating and taking off for a while. I love that for you, group 2. Now, energy sounds like energy, honey. That thunderbolt is everything, and I feel like it's a brilliant idea. It's feeling like it. It's attracting people that are intentional. Everything which exists is energy in different forms, and nothing can escape from it. It is neither created nor destroyed. It only transforms. So that's why I said some of these relationships that y'all thought is over because it made sense, right? We done all took the correct advice and we like, all right, Buster, right? But here comes this magical change, child. I don't know. I'll fall out the chair. I don't have time for that. But I love sweet sensations. Anyway, it is the capacity of matter to produce work by means of movement and light. So some of y'all, do you hear that? Like, oh, movement and light, producing work. Maybe having an energy. Can group 2, some of y'all, energy to do the work. It could be physical work. We're talking about your creativity, career, and finance. It could also be spiritual work. It could be the work within a relationship. That's why I say, it's things are going to really take off instead of spiraling. That's y'all message. Now, we done sat here talking for about 30 minutes, but I feel like the everything's taken off. And then even I was like, I don't want to keep going with it. I want to focus on what we have. But look what's under here. Ain't it taking off too and going up? So it's going up for you. Okay, we got Big Bang. Hold on, let me see. This is an excellent card for the activation of something such as a project or anything work related. So while I like to throw love and relationships in everything, because I'm a love bug, I did call it at the beginning of the reading that this has something to do with energy, root chakra, stability, finances. Okay, see, I don't leave nothing out. Now, it's a beautiful omen full of strength. If we're facing a conflict, we should review the energy that we put into it and transform it, because you can't take it away. See what I mean? You can't. If there was like deep love for something or someone, you know it just ain't the season for, we can't say, oh, boom, pow, be gone. Transform it into wisdom, appreciation for the experience, but hating it, feeling bad, like how I didn't see it. Because I have a friend, right? I don't never tell my clients business, but my friends okay it, and they have full range to my YouTube. So I say it knowing they actively listen without commenting or joining us in our shenanigans. But I have a friend, and that happens. You know what I'm saying? Where you could genuinely deep down inside just hate a person. I don't like to say that word. I like to say have a strong discomfort or dislike. But he couldn't stand this girl. And I could say for good reason, but we bumped heads when I tried to remind him how he attracted that situation and had other choices and didn't take them. And jokingly, when he ain't in his feelings about this broad he jokingly told on himself about all the heartbreak that he did cause. A nurse here, an older woman here, and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, I didn't understand how this brother had such strong dislike for this woman, but it was like you guys were meant for each other. So anyway, that ain't y'all. It could be for somebody. But my point is, a strong dislike is not good for your health, and honestly shows a lack of intelligence, because our emotions won't let us intellectualize a fact. Don't block me, because I ain't just talking noise, and it's like easy to say but not do. If you knew my heart, my story of my life, and how, no, not even how, but what things I came to term with for the sake of moving forward and intelligence, you wouldn't say, you would be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. It's like some of those situations, I ain't gonna hold you. But I don't have nothing to do with your personal stories. And then we're all different, because I also have Gemini North Node and like other air rising. And so it could be easier for me to step out of emotion for intellect. But I'm also a Pisces. So I would again, say, do some research. Anyways, I love this for you guys. Okay. Now, the Big Bang is interesting. That's crazy. I love that for you all. I love that so much. Everything that is girl, boy. Okay, because I want to say girl, but YouTube said a lot of my subscribers are dudes. And I was like, what? Hey. But it took a more powerful movement to make way for the creation of everything that is. But how much beauty came out of it? It is the largest expansion we had ever experienced. I ain't flipping over shit else. I put the book down. Group 2. This is the largest. You see how the color wave? Because it's like you ain't start like that, but somewhere between the beginning and the middle of life, things got crazy. Okay. But somewhere between the middle and how it's gonna go, you feel me? You are all the way up. So what I love, Group 2, is, did you hear what I said? The biggest expansion you have ever experienced. And I do hope that that helps. Group 3. All right. This is perfect. I just want to set a disclaimer without trickling any energy from one pile to the next, because I do not. Take me a little short break. But I will say this was my most excited, because I don't even know what we're going to unpack. We're going to unpack it together. But I was so excited. This card is so beautiful and like just meant everything. And I did see a couple of the cards that we're going to discuss in your shuffle. And the fact that I had this little trinket and this was the card Spirit chose for you guys just blew me out of the water. This is so beautiful, and I just want to take a moment, okay? Put it on your screensaver, y'all. But what I was getting at was too that my energy was amplified like right before coming into your reading. So I think that that's dope. I appreciate that. With your Jasper heart. Now, I did say that I would give some information on your crystal when we got into the reading, because I know usually we talk about that kind of thing in the intro. But your heart, and it's polished, honey. It does give the stone of endurance, a deep crimson variety associated with the root chakra, vitality, and emotional stability. It's famous for its natural landscape-like bands and spots. Okay, love that. You see, all this shining and stuff, child, probably make it hard, but it's very beautiful. Okay, it is believed to connect the holder deeply to the earth and reduce stress, and can sometimes be hypnotic and even sunset-like. Will have sunset-like lines. And look at your card. It promotes tranquility, joy, and grounding. And then Spirit shuffled out the epitome of joy card in the tarot deck. So as we talk about new beginnings and fated transformations, I would like to say, Group 3, that I feel like we're going to unpack and discover something great. You also have playfulness, balance, and protection from negative energies. I love that. A cooling, soothing sensation, mindfulness and relaxation, and comfort, as well as ambient wellness. Okay, so y'all fancy with y'all ambient wellness. So to start off, all right, I will give channeled messages, so stay tuned. Don't take the first couple of things that I say and be like, oh, it's about that. Nope. It's channeled messages for the collective, also intuitive and tarot interpretation. So powerful positivity and success is what you can expect, Group 3. Optimism, joy, happiness, a celebration, and family. All right. In a world full of sun and shadow, you'll find speck of time to pause and to embrace the sunlight. So if you felt like you ain't had time for nothing for yourself, to take a break, you do okay, but you ain't just really had no moments where you can bask in the ambiance of all of your successes, that time is coming, okay? It could be divine energy. It gives you energy to grow and thrive. Some of you may have a connection to geometric shapes. And this card also says her mind, which is coming in as the sun. And look at her mind. So the sun could be something else, but this is her connection or her story. Damn it. Hold on, wait, I dropped something. I was cooking too. Maybe Spirit want us to rest with her mind, child. Okay, boom. Y'all see that flower on her brain? It's something. Okay. Was I all in the mic? Okay, I was all in y'all ear with that deep it's something. But anyways, I wanted to say this really quick because I pointed out that Jasper was hypnotic, right? It is just a coincidence that in this book, okay, by the Muse lady, her mind spins beautifully, peacefully, and hypnotically under its spell of geometric shapes. I love that. I be asking for that all the time. I'm gonna sit back and watch this video one day and just pick pile 3 because I know what it's gonna say, or I like what it says so far. Because for source to say, I'm just gonna come sit on your brain and pretty much you're gonna be hypnotized and ride with me. Yes, sir. Okay, please do that. Spirit is asking you and sending you a heartfelt message, group 3, of happiness found and signals your forthcoming success. Expect total freedom. Be optimistic about your joy. It says she floats, knowing that you will experience it soon, because I'm floating, knowing that you'll experience it soon, baby. And that life is about to get a whole lot better. Okay. So let's see what we got for you, group 3. I'm so impressed. Now, here it is, because Spirit, I be forgetting. I shuffled out the cards and I was like, well, let's just wait till they get here. I do like a little bit of understanding because I am intuitive, I am a channeler, but I'm also an over philosophizing intellect that has Asperger's, which is a form of autism, and I will overthink and come up with 777 scenarios based off of 3 words. My brain can do that. So I'll be like, Spirit, keep me when I'm doing spiritual work, keep me in my intuition and emotions, but also my intellect. And then in my regular life, I use a lot of intellect. So I be trying not to over intellect y'all. Now, what I loved, you see what I'm talking about? You see the coincidence? It was like, this is a part of the material. So some of you guys, I think it got something to do, child, with happiness. Let me say that, because you can't say some actual materials, a new wardrobe, some clothes, how you identify, how you step out and all that. I feel like that's true, but I also feel that this is like the biggest love, the happiest energy, the most cleansing, but also very passionate and protected. Because when they painted the red door, it said the bad energy couldn't get in or whatever. I'm loving how in the sacral region it's like healed, because usually the sacral is inflamed and it's orange, and that's where all the shit goes, especially for a female, in the hips and the reproductive system. And yours got Empress energy in there. If you're a guy, all that means is you not holding on to old things, dead weight, pain, suffering, stiffness, child. It's just like going on. And I'm loving how the solar plexus is even letting us know that it's healthy and shining, so your energy returns, your creativity returns. And I feel like for some of y'all, it returns because of the emotions. So it could be a new relationship or someone who sparks it, even though that sound kind of, I know we got some people in the audience that'll be like, somebody shouldn't, we shouldn't rely on others for our own happiness. But it's like, let us cook. Okay. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see that. I thought that was insane, because none of these things go together. All of these things were purchased individually and just happened to be sitting in my little library room bookshelf and came together for you, group 3. So I honestly, in my heart, I feel like things coming together for you. Okay, so your reading starts out with the Page of Cups. This cup is giving me heartfelt. So whatever this is being brought to you, a crush, a kind gesture energy, I feel like it's the spark of inspiration that does something major. So this little bitty gesture, okay, or it could be big, I don't know, okay, but I'm just saying, I thought that it was so beautiful, and it's in alignment with what I saw first. So this is serendipitous joy, okay, synchronicity, which we have, playfulness, finding new possibility, unexpected magic, group 3, opportunities to refresh and rejoice, a mystical and poetic energy, or a youthful and imaginative person. So just be mindful of that. Now, I did take into consideration that this deck is predominantly illustrated by females, but it's a reason why this deck was chosen for group 3, which is the number of the Empress 2. So I feel that this could involve multiple people. I do feel like 2 strong energies and a positive, you know what I'm saying, a +1. But it's a good thing. It's some sort of union or celebration. It's giving me like 3-cup energy, sort of. Because in the 3 cups, you got the redhead, you know, the brown haired one. And then it's like a blonde or something. And I feel like it's like the sisters in all the fairy tales and the folklore movies. You know, it's always 3, and they make sure all their hair is different colors, like Charlie's Angels. Okay, so that could be significant to fate. The sisters of fate, how they call it, that it's the folklore. So if you ain't into all that, just sit with us, okay? Just hang tight. But fate is like 3 sisters, and even though one of them, which I would think is like the Queen of Swords, she ain't here, but roll with me, because maybe it's a new one, and maybe one of y'all you know, when it comes to being in control or it not being you know, sometimes when people think about fate, it's like, ooh, somebody watching us and grading us, and you know, we always go left in our brain with what that mean, and it could sound scary. This is just like fate and fortune that's not scary, is all I wanted to say. So anyway, swimming in the visceral, okay, I don't know what that is, but shout out to her. All right, next you guys had the Queen of Inspiration. And I feel like it's giving me a very passionate, seductive, like light-bodied Queen of Wands. Because, you know, this is for some a challenging position in group 2. Oh, I'm sorry, group 3, card 2. Sometimes, you know, how I read, the second card could pose as a challenge. But I don't think so for you. For you, I think this could be timing to August. Okay? And I feel like it's going to line you up. Whatever this is, your new beginning and transformation is something. It ain't told me what it was, but I think you don't have a problem with getting things. You don't have a problem with much. But as far as like your overall happiness, I feel like this thing, whatever it is, what someone says, what someone does, what you get, whatever it is, it does something to you that changes your overall energy. It allows you to be fun. It allows you to practice more self-love. And a lot of people don't, you know, to be honest, a lot of people might not have time for that, or the resources to sit and get botanicals and take a day off and, you know, smell the roses, you know, redecorate. You know, I can go on and on. But some people, because I do observe comments, I do keep up with society a little bit. I tiptoe out and tiptoe back in like, oh damn. But everybody just don't have the energy, desire, time, or resources to live what we want to say soft life. And we ain't talking about for fake, because I know it's real cool and hip and trendy, some people to talk about soft life, but I don't want to, you know, implement too much of my bias or subjective information. But it feels like some people who promote soft life, I don't think they have the best intentions, because their soft life seems to come at the hands of somebody else being responsible for it. Oh, well, I did say, like, somebody comes in and does something that changes something. So, okay, let me back up. There could be an attraction here. I ain't gonna hold you. A marriage or some sort of union where somebody has the magnetism and somebody has the creativity. That's nice. However that works. And I'm feeling like what it does is creates this ambience of abundance and joy, but mostly joy. This is just like so happy. I can't pinpoint it to, oh, you got a car, so that's a good thing. You get a new house, that's a good thing. But it's what this thing or that gesture does for you. It's like how you feel about it that just lights up the room. You know what I mean? So I think that that's super cool. I think I saw her. So there go my 3 queens. Okay, let me see if it's another queen, child. Okay, it's not. Okay, cool. See, I know I wasn't tripping. Okay, so now the three queens. And if you care for some extra homework or just out of sheer curiosity, I do feel like there's a story behind that, which in my mind connects to fate. So your fate, I feel like, has something to do with this amazing introduction that we had. So go back and rewind the video if you just skipped to this part. All right. Now, for some of you, it is about work and finances, or just something working, a collaboration and collectively. And look at them. It's three of them here again, and they almost look alike. So I feel like fate is working in your favor, and it's moving off of your energy. Oh my gosh. Now, I love a Pegasus. I love a unicorn. Okay. They are so pretty. And you have it coming in with the Knight of Swords energy and a reminder for how they said Michael was like God's favorite, y'all. Okay? For your bravery and your strong heart. All right? You get wish fulfillment, and instead of me just giving it to you, I feel like you have the mindset, the intelligence, the emotional intelligence, and just the passion and energy that you're attracting this wish fulfillment. I feel like some of you may have had to tackle and release some unhealthy behaviors and emotions, or even patterns of give and take. All right. And dealing with complicated situations. I feel like if we wanted to be entertaining for the sake of, if there is some Kojak out there, child, that had his choice or picks of the litter, I do feel like there could be a choice being made, and you in here. Okay. This is crazy. Now, two knights is kind of like two pages where there's an ally involved. So for some of you, this is about friendship or just harmony. Okay. This is also a year that was already in your chart to be one that is hella transformative. And I say that because I always said this was like the year of the Chariot. I think it is a horse. Is it horse or snake? I forgot. It might be the snake, the Chinese zodiac. I can't remember. But this is the Chariot in this reading because of the two horses. And it's like they're not two different forces pulling and working together. They have major similarities. Now, this could be you and the divine, because I see one has wings and one does not. But I feel like it's pure energy. It's just like pure. The intentions are pure. When I think of like the knights and how they move, and it does talk about action. So inspiration and emotion, I feel like it's going to bring you the most favor and material. Okay. And I also have the Ace of Swords just confirming. All right. Now, for some of us, I feel that this sword is about information. The sword also represents, like, I know that they say pentacles or paperwork or contracts, but this is like it being written. So something being written, and I feel like it's very practical and it helps with life. Like, it's first the energy and then you feel it. So it's kind of like the rules of manifestation. Like, you manifest this. And I feel like for some of you guys, it is a marriage or a union with a practical partner. So if I have any guys here where I jokingly talked about my subscribers like being so many dudes and I didn't know that, I feel that someone speaks to your heart or you do to them. But you may have some, what is it, acquired taste or some interesting concepts. All of you, everybody involved in this could have some interesting concept about relationship, and I feel like your relationship would be a little bit different from what is traditional, this union. Okay. I also want to say, for my queen of inspiration, let's go back there because I just jumped the gun. I just got excited and I'm just like went somewhere else. All right. So we have joy, courage, warmth, confidence, power, enthusiasm. And we also have a powerful leader and accepting all of yourself. Maybe that was very important. So this energy shift is bringing about some sort of manifestation. Now, what that does is it leads you to charge ahead, follow your dreams, have a fast output of action with enthusiasm. It talks about getting things done, being spontaneous, and taking risk. Okay. Now for my queen, okay, because that could have been our challenge for some of us. Those are some things that we could have needed to do or wanted to do. And now we have the heart and the energy to do it. So again, it still sounds significant to another person coming toward you, because this is hella who coming toward you or what. Okay, for some of you, this could be the area of what's coming toward you. And I feel like how or why or what initiates it, and then where we go with it. So I still think that that's kind of cool. Next, we had our Queen of Emotions, which is Cancer energy. All right, so we got Leo, Cancer energy, which are both very romantic and warm and inspirational and stuff. But we have love, emotional intuition and intelligence, creativity and joy. So Spirit wants to double down on the joy, the creativity and joy, as well as self-love, because this was confidence and this was self-love. Okay. It also talks about sharing your love with others and creating from the heart. So for some of you, this is work. Sharing your heart with others. Okay. Could be significant or something that's important. If you say, well, why? Because a new love, a happy flirtation, an idea that comes from or stems from love could manifest. Okay. Now, if I do have some group threes where it talks about a needed transition, because we talked about some beautiful new beginnings, right? And we're just going to lay it on too thick and then have them like, So if I did have to give some practical advisory, okay, type update, if you are in I don't want to say contractual, but it's like, it's not love, right? It's out of necessity. You almost a caretaker, or it could be a parent, co-parenting. If not, it just seems like two people that are together for reasons outside of pure love. Okay, I don't know how to call it. The cards do point to the need for self-love, because of the want for a meaningful relationship or a connection. Accessing how you truly feel and sharing your love with others, and creating from the heart. We talked about that. Okay, I'm sorry. Why was because the thrill of the chase and us setting healthy boundaries, because we do have a lot of females here, baby, and I'm an old school tarot reader, so now we got this new brighter perspective. I get that, but I just still say it was a lot of broads. Okay. So for someone, your boon and your fortune could come from an energy level up, which is going to be fresh like rainwater, baby. But it's you have to find it in your heart to get past the heat and passion. Okay. The jealousy. So if we hanging on to somebody so somebody else won't have them, it reminds us that it reminds this card. Okay, let me slow down. It reminds everyone beneath its bright love that nature only option is to grow or decay. And by choosing to grow, by choosing to put your energy into partnerships and into passion, we consciously expand our energy. What connections are you nurturing today? So I fumble all over that, y'all. But it's the point. And so whoever that's for, I feel like you know who you are and what it is. I don't feel like that's a collective message, but group 4, if it is about our energy and relationships or marriages, there you have it. I just think it was like way more than that. And I'm not going to like Debbie down it with that, because you get all of this from doing that. For some of you guys, or having this, you will notice that you ain't playing with or tolerating a lot of behaviors that you had to set healthy boundaries about. Now, a flash of clarity, a revelation, a new paradigm. I love that. Okay. So just imagine going from someone who had to kind of like do the work. Okay. And like communicate. Okay. With the universe. That's a lot of work. Do you know who you have to be to do what the universe need done from you to be an energetic match and align with the things you want? Because you can want a lot of things, but you forget there are multi-layers to a human being. And how you feel about yourself, how others treat you, the environment you in, like literally your house, where you live, your neighborhood, how you feel, work. It's just so many things that could be a distraction or different from what we're trying to manifest. And it's like you got to see through all that shit, pardon my French, to communicate to the universe what you really are and what you want to be. And then you learn that you can't say what you want to be, because saying you want to be it is saying that you ain't it. So you half-ass manifesting ain't it when you saying you want to be. So then you have to be in the I am. And baby, you can't lie to the universe. So you can't say I am all this, that, and the other, and the universe like, child, come back later, So I feel like this new paradigm, okay, is for those that have done all of that work. Visionary thinking, new goals, and realities. We talking about outcome energy. This is the promise. This is, oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh. This is like the story of Isis. Oh my gosh. Okay. I ain't really big on like deity worship or whatever. I respect and appreciate though all of those that came before us, and I have a personal interest in like just knowing, I guess, reading, research, but I don't have like one favorite over the other than source itself. And then I always talk about the Holy Spirit, and then Metatron, okay, and also Archangel Michael and Raphael and Mother Mary and Jesus. But hear me out. My point is, you know how they said Isis she had the heart, right? The passion for her people, but also the bravery to travel to the sun and got burned up. Not them throwing shade on our beautiful brown skin. Hold up, okay? But she went to the sun. So this could be some sort of symbolism to my sisters of African descent, but I ain't gonna go down. Okay, the brave ones that connect right to source, and source was like, you got it, little mama, forever. And here we are. But Isis had the heart, honey, and the tenacity to like go when the other soldiers, for some reason, couldn't make it, right up to the Holy One, and was like, hey, it's some bullshit going on down there, and I ain't standing for it. I'll toe up, right? And then it was like, oh, you don't say. Okay, I'm gonna go do something about it, right? And then the God's throne is always a chariot. Is how we move across the constellations or whatever. So this could also be timing for some of you. I hope you into that to figure it out, because I just gave you the game. It's something up in here could talk about timing, because those constellations and folklores also point to actual movement in the sky. So anyway, yeah, so she did all that, and it was like, for your bravery, I'm gonna give you a lot of things and restore your beauty. We got the Queen of Cups here, and then we even got the Queen of Materials. So it's like not even just your beauty and your soul gonna be restored. Okay, go buy you something, all right, for your hard work, dedication. Okay, I love that for you, Group 3. I honestly don't. Okay, this card says she smiles as she opens up your way of thinking and perceiving. She knows you will see rainbow realities around her all the time. We are all light, she says, and her lips glimmer with the changing hues of transcendence, and yet she winks. When we see the truth, sometimes we see it in technicolor. So that's why the lady got her hair all like that. But I'm noticing a little owl. So some of you could have a spirit animal of horses, Pegasus, owl, have a connection to divine feminine energy. And Spirit said, don't say that. Okay, cool, because I got some brothers up in here. That's fine. Look at the Pegasus like above the challenges, and it's like, yeah, it might be some clouds, but the fact that they're, it's like I got them right here. I got that. The clouds don't fill up the mind. They're contained. Maybe that's why the cup is there. It's like I'm containing all that, okay? And the sun is doing it. It's like I got that, and you do this type deal. I don't know. It's teamwork, okay? I love that for you, group 3. I do hope. Look, I'm just nosy. I just wanted to see. It's like, what else is? Oh yeah, okay. And Spirit say don't. Okay, fine. But I do hope that helps. I'm so excited. Like, so seriously, group 3, we gotta keep in touch. Tell me about what's going on. Until next time. Okay, group 4. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna start by saying I am a huge fan of smoky quartz. Okay, smoky quartz is connected to the vulture and many other things, but a lot of you may like music, and like myself, a lot of you make love Sade. And when Sade came out with the Soldier of Love, child, she got a whole bunch of classics. But it's just something about the vulture and birds and soldiers and love. But if you saw her, it's just about people who have a passion and an electricity in them, which doesn't mean you're gonna be like rich and famous and popular and electric mean this, that, and the other. That's cute, and she is rich and popular and famous, but that's not her persona. It's more so like, I don't know, it's beyond confidence. It's legendary. It's like some old school last of a dying breed type thing, child. But again, one of my favorite. Now this one is like a deep brown. Some of them are a little bit clearer, and some of them even are black. Okay, but they do vary. It holds a lot of energy that is protective. It also is a very high quality specimen. Okay, in Africa, Australia, New England, United States, all of us. Now people use it for many things, not even just jewelry. All right. But it absorbs negative energy. So some of us that have some of the greatest missions, okay, along this path, we love the pretty crystals, right? The clear ones that sparkle and all that kind of stuff. But something that's going to actually help you feel better and absorb things from you, which is why it looks like this, kind of like the vulture and, the ecosystem or animal planet or whatever. Does that make sense? It's also connected to the root chakra, the solar plexus, and it's perfect for people who constantly find themselves in a wandering mind or an inability to focus. It assists with not only clearing your mind, but allowing you to be more level-headed. Okay, it can help you find drive and determination that sometimes feels lost in our daily lives. But what I love about this, because again, here is Magically Power 4. Where we talking about something metaphysical. When it talks about transmutation, we are talking about new beginnings and faded transformations. And here you guys come with the most not the most, but one of, the most supportive crystals when it comes to transmutation, not just transformation, but transmutation. So look into that. It protects you from negative vibrations, child, even when it's your own. I ain't gonna lie to you. Existing negative energies, right? It transmutes it into something more positive. And I don't think it gets a lot of credit for that. Because if you just see it on the table, unless you just have a love for crystals, stones, or understanding, you wouldn't look at this and get, oh my gosh, all the positive qualities, or you probably wouldn't even look at this card and say, oh, this is going to be the best news, right? But that's the trick. So I feel like this is going to resonate with anomalies and those particular people that are attracted to Power 4, and I love it. So I feel that this is connected to breaking bad habits and patterns, and your inner strength having something to do with it. It also talks about manifesting, and not only just manifesting, but a specific power you need to tackle challenges and blocks. So it's like this is a one-man band. right? You don't have to look outside of yourself for things that you need. This is like you are well-rounded in all that you need. So we are going to get started with your reading. So at the bottom of the deck, you have solar eclipse. The next solar eclipse, and I hope ain't nobody else in here, because I don't want them to think, oh, she just spawned group 4 all the time. Everything always be about group 4. Well, that's not true. But what I wanted to say, group 4, what's significant is when I saw this card, I rather had shown you it than the back of the card, which I do sometimes, okay? The solar eclipse is the last one for 2026, and I believe it's on August 21st, okay? It's not the last eclipse. I said the last solar eclipse. And it is very significant because with the moon, it's about releasing, right? But with the solar eclipse, it's about, receiving. It's also about transformation and change. And we talked about this being the overall energy of the reading, okay? And so I didn't know if people were going to figure it out, but I was just like, I hope they don't, because they already be jealous of y'all, child, for real. But this is where we come into new chapters, new beginnings, fated transformations, and you have like, this is OG, okay? Now if I'm gonna put some gold crystals and some diamonds, and I'm gonna put some labradorite, and it's a lot of transformative crystals, and they so beautiful and pretty. But I pull out some quartz, some smoky quartz, baby. You better know it. It's happening. Okay, so I just want to point that out. Now let's get started. Let's see what we have here. Active Capricorn, 6th house, creativity. We got a full moon. Okay, so your transformation has been happening. Your transformation does also involve the moon, as well as the sun. And so maybe that's why we start with eclipse. So let me not rush too far off of that. And then we'll shuffle it up just to get some fresh energies in here and tell your story, group 4. But I just had to say that, like, I don't know, I get excited about a lot of things. I was just excited about the sun card. I get excited about, I don't know, everything actually. But this is like my baby. All right, so the solar eclipse occurs during a new moon. Okay, so okay, I did say the moon was involved, and it was literally like, look at that. It says lunar eclipse. Oh, okay, it said full moon. But anyway, let's focus. It is a supercharged beginning requiring release of the old. If this is done willingly, then vibrant opportunities are in store. It is a time to rise to a brand new occasion. So the bright side, regeneration, transformation, and growth, as well as inception. So let's see what we got for you, my group 4. I'm going to leave her here. Now there's something that brings you to spirit. The hummingbird also talks about music. I could have some creative artists here, or those of you that are just gifted vocally. But I also know, I feel that there's a catalyst that brings you to spirit. And in layman's terms, I can break down what that is, but you heard what I said. But just if you say, well, what does that mean? It's a situation, circumstance, person, place, or thing that leads you inward, okay? Or right to source. And it doesn't have to be, it's not good or bad, it's just what it is. Because if it leads you to source, it ain't no bad. You're going to be in open arms with the divine, the greatest, right? So it's like you're good. But sometimes it is what it is, okay? I don't want to say, heartbreak or breakup, finally saying, screw that job. It could be as simple as waking up saying, screw how I'm thinking negative all the time, or screw my anxiety, or just something that could nag you, but something that keeps poking at you, or something that gets your attention and annoys you. And it brings you to source. Now, some of your belief systems may say, God is my higher self. It morphs you into your higher self through this event. And what wrong or bad could, that be. So that's why I just wanted to explain. It's not, it may have sound, I don't know how it sounds when I say there's a catalyst, that leads you to spirit. There it is. So let's get a shuffle for group 4. We're going to pull off the top. Spirit says stop right there, and look at that. I like when spirit be showing out. Like, yeah, okay, I'll make it juicy for you. All right, let me put this here so we have some room. They just said the eclipse happens at the new moon. Wow. We're going to be talking about the 3rd house, group 4. Okay, so we can have some room. I'm like so excited. We have mutable. I love gold when I'm talking about my mystics. We have fixed. Well, those are 2 differences. We're going to talk about that. Ooh, now is this the cover? She always uses this. So that's big. So there's something about this new moon that could be major, but we have Neptune. Okay. We can't have Neptune without Aquarius. I hope don't know Pisces get me. Okay, we also have Libra. Damn, y'all noticing how the bottom, that is crazy. So all zodiacs at the bottom. Okay, Spirit is like telling us, yeah. Okay. Something about Venus and Scorpio too, but we'll get to that later if we have time. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, so new moon could be very significant because solar eclipse is at the bottom of the deck. The new moon is the moon cycle is initiated. So this is about initiation. Okay. It is a great time to set intentions and renew. At the time of the new moon, the sun and the moon are in the same sign. Intentions can be tailored to the energy of that sign for greater effect. Rebirth, intention, new ideas, and new plans. That hint. Okay, that's some good game. Write it down. Now, 3rd house could be significant. Crossing Neptune and Libra. We're going to see why. But we have Gemini and Mercury energy. 3rd house is the house of communication. So how we communicate, maybe be flexible. Maybe you've been flexible, but maybe you need to like isolate it. I've done that. I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes when you know too much, right? Because group 4, y'all the mystics and the masters. You try to be flexible and appreciative. We talk about gratitude all the time. And I feel like in doing so, we could not be very fixed or very clear about exactly what we want. I even teach my son, which I try to be flexible about, but when it's 11/11, we always make a wish, right? And sometimes we would wish for things, but then I would just start wishing for the best. Cause I grew to know too much, and I've had experiences, and then you start reading about fairies and warlocks and shit, and it's like, oh, but there's a catch and there's a price, and I ain't got time for none of that shit. So I always say I wish for the best, but over time I corrected myself when necessary and made sure that that's not how I communicated to the universe, because it's like, okay, but what is the best? Like, do you at least have clear intentions about what that is? So even if you are like me and say, okay, overall, okay, I just want all things great, you still need to be intentional with making it clear what you even think that is. All right, because I don't think the universe is consciousness, but also the universe could be like the wheel that the Mayans drew out, something that just works a certain way, that doesn't have consciousness, like it ain't sitting there being your friend. I think the universe is just all of the wheels in motion. You know what I'm saying? There is source, don't get me wrong, your higher self, God, all the angels, demons, archangels, and ascended masters, but I think the universe is just an existence of all those things and energy and da-da-da-da. Does that make sense? But you can think the universe is whatever you want to think it is. Anyway, so my point was communication. Through this house, communications are made, like I said, with others that are valuable to experience. Ooh, that's why that little hummingbird was there. I told y'all, it's like That's why I said don't take it bad. Now sometimes it has been like, oh, something that's gonna be a pain in your spine that gets you, I'm gonna say we've all had that. I'll just say I've experienced one thing that got me out of something else, but still wasn't forever. I get that that's a catalyst, and I respect and appreciate it for what it is. You know what I mean? Not saying you guys are gonna get that. Yours is more favorable because it talks about value. So it adds value to the experience, not just gets you out of something you refuse to move out of. This is not that type of timing for you, group 4. And I'm so happy for you to experience something different with a higher vibration, child. It does add that information is gained and shared in an effort to learn. So it talks about a healthy sense of curiosity, which I appreciate. And the curiosity is about the world, which leads us to growth in our life. So effective thinking and communication, acquisition of useful information, and networking. Ooh, and then it's coming over Aquarius. So some of you guys I'm getting a gift of gab, okay? Something finally comes through. So if you've been waiting on something, it's given like judgment, but positive. So judgment means like, okay, something finally goes in your favor. So group 4, if I had to give your group alone a personal title, it would be something finally goes in your favor. And I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, I don't know, finally just makes it so much more important. Like finally, damn. Okay. So anyway, yeah, something finally goes in your favor. And let's go to mutable. Because when I saw mutable next to fixed, I was like, yeah, sometimes we, flex and fold because we so smart, we think that's the way. But I wouldn't let mutable turn into martyring, but I am. So we have Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Those are the okay, Olivia. Those are the mutable signs, and they end the season. So some of you guys, it talks about something new, communication, and an end to, we're going to talk about it. This could also be timing for some of you because it says Gemini season, Virgo, which is late summer, and Sagittarius, which is late fall, or Pisces, late winter. So I could talk about a late bloomer. Okay. All right. Look at that. Late bloom. So it's like, don't focus on that fixed. But we could talk about a late bloomer because first I had this thing wrapped around you. It seemed like Saturn. Them rings. It's talking about commitments and contracts and all that kind of thing. So I feel like there's something new to be experienced, but something about the end of the season for some of you guys. During these periods, the upcoming season can be sensed. This gives these signs a flexible, adaptable quality because it's like the strongest intuition. Okay, mutable signs just kind of like, because it's at the end, you got a lot of time to figure it out. Okay, so that's funny. You guys have finally something goes in your favor, and then here's enough time to have figured it out. It's crazy. But we have versatile, open-minded, cooperative, amenable, and easygoing. So I do love that. Okay, and next to mutable, like I said, you guys have fixed, which seemed like it could have been an issue, but this is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and you also have Aquarius here, and I got Scorpio in the deck. So let's see what this is about. Fixed signs mark the middle of the season. So maybe you feel like you always came last, and now you'll be the center of attention. That's what I get about middle, okay? Because I know all about the middle child syndrome, okay? I appreciate that for you. It does talk about Taurus is full blossoming spring, Leo, the height of the summer, Scorpio, the turning of autumn leaves, and Aquarius, the cold of winter. This gives these signs endurance and perseverance because it's kind of like the worst of the worst. Okay. So I appreciate that. So it's like something that leads you to spirit is crazy, because it's like your experiences have taught you enough to know, and your knowing is like your gift now. And ain't nothing extreme or magical or fantasy like about that. But we about to get to the fantasy possibly in Neptune. We talk about committed, reliable, steadfast, determined, and hardworking. So I love that for my late bloomers. I do feel like there could be committed relationships, more reliable things, transportation, lifestyle, or whatever. Your determination and hard work is probably why it says finally, something goes in my favor. But then you have Neptune. Neptune comes in and gives us some clarity to a new moon, or it's going to add on to it for us possibly. Let's see what it's about. With Neptune, it's something that only happens every 164 years. Child, group 4, I'm not surprised, but there's something that you'll experience in the near future that is a once in a lifetime thing. It does include Pisces and the 12th house. Neptune is the dreamer, the mystic, the poet, the artist. And I talked about artists because the hummingbird, okay? I talked about musicians and stuff. So artists, musicians, okay, you guys. It is the planet of visions, psychic experiences, spirituality, and unity. Transcending the ego is its purpose. And I ain't gonna lie, this shadow energy is ego, but I don't want to talk about it. It talked about stagnation, stubbornness, and something about the ego. And I knew that was going to come up because sometimes the nose or mouth or head in general is connected to the emperor. So I ain't really want to do shadow reading, but spirit was like, it's beauty in the shadow. Don't be scared with this beautiful picture, right? Because we want to focus on everything. Oh, crap. All right. So, yeah, once in a lifetime, kind of shindaku. It is concerned with universal truths and otherworldly energies. So I love that. We have inspiration, utopia, muse, transcendence, dreams, spirituality, and art. So the new moon, something manifesting, I feel like it's something you've dreamed about or aspired to do. I ain't mad at that. Now next, you have Aquarius, and it's crossing the new moon. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Aquarius moon, because I got a lot of people on my channel that have a connection to Aquarius moon somewhere or the other. But that doesn't have to be how the dots connect for you. I just wanted to throw that out there. It could be significant, okay? Or a person that has their moon in the 3rd house, okay? All right. So now when we go to Aquarius, which is the age we're living in, I feel like this could be transformative. This shift could last you the rest of your life. And baby, that is a deep breath of finally. Because most of us we halfway through it in the first place. Okay, if not more. So it's like, yeah, that is fair. That balances out, my experience. That would make it make sense for me. If I go most of my life up to this point, or all of my life up to this point one way, it makes a whole bunch of sense. For the rest of my life, things go a little differently for me. All right, so manifest that. Do not be afraid to be practical and honest with the universe about what you want or think. Where are we at? Aquarius? All right, Aquarius. Why is it here and crossing our new moon? We're gonna figure it out. I don't like when people pick their own orders, bro. It's just like, ain't nobody asked y'all to do that. But maybe that's a message. So Aquarius is fixed. Huh. Okay. That may have a significance. Ooh, you remember at the beginning when I was shuffling and we saw the card that said active? So Aquarius is air, fixed and active. And the planetary ruler is Uranus, who is currently throwing out a whole bunch of once in a lifetime things, and usually does because of how slow it moves, which is probably why finally, feel me? So we have the water bearer. Beautiful. Okay, and this is some holy water, child, because it has made this plant big and beautiful. Okay, but it rules the 11th house. This innovative inventor revolutionizes with every step. Originality and freedom are essential to this genius of the stars. Restrict Aquarius and you doom it to exile or boredom. Okay. Ooh, its collective consciousness creates forward movement. So you have to dream. You have to speak. You have to communicate. You have to say what you want. I don't like that this is restrictive. Okay. That's very interesting because the ring is around flexibility, which you would think a ring would be around committed or commitment. Now, I did give everybody else a little bit of practical magic. So if this is about something new that we're manifesting with somebody with heavy Neptune, third house, or mutable energy, I tell you right now, I'm an Aquarius moon. So, of course, I attracted a lot of subscribers that have a connection to it some way or the other. And possibly they partners. I ain't gonna hold you. But also them. But yeah, an Aquarius moon person, ooh, when it comes to a very emotional, dreamy type person, that could, want to lock things down, you might want to be a little flexible. That could be your near future hidden message. I get it, man. It's all in water. It's night and day. You got a nonchalant person who is not. Okay. Maybe a new leaf turns. Because I know Libras, with this commitment in third house, is just as funny as new moon and mutable Aquarius. Both of these individuals, okay. Traditional Libra, healthy Libra, is one who wants balance, passion, and love and beauty. So they would appreciate a muse, a musician, a free spirit. They would adore and just like show you love because they bring that balance of love with Venus, okay, which I told y'all was over here. Venus and Scorpio sitting over here. Gotcha. But then if there was any shadow energy and then Scorpio is involved and we talking about commitment versus freedom, and Scorpio got that either suspicious, hard to kind of deal with energy, nervous energy, and or obsessive energy, it just all in water. Okay. So if you came to this reading, right, because I'm talking about some whole other shit, and then here you come to this reading wanting some sort of insight about a personal relationship, it's going to take a lot of work. I'll tell you that right now. So you must be pretty special because you came in here and you getting what you asked for. Something could take a lot of work. Okay? Doesn't mean that it won't work. It's going to take a lot of discipline and a lot of work. And I think this is individually for something to work together. And look at that ring. Saturn is restriction. Now, some of you, your restriction is lifted. If you've been single for a long time and you want a relationship, I feel like that's opening up for you. I won't hold you. But keep in mind what you've learned. Okay? All right. So now why is Libra here? I do think Libra is, I learned so much through experience and information. But if I had to say what I thought about signs through people, that would be so unfair for the planet and the sign itself. Okay? So that's why I spoke for Libra in an energy of its strength, Okay, because we don't just speak in shadow here. Even though there's a lot of, shadow energy, it's also vibrant and bright. Okay, so Libra is air, coordinal, and also active. So both are active. So maybe even an astrological message about Libra season under an Aquarius moon, or something that may have been significant to Aquarius season. Now, under the Libra full moon, something comes to fruition. Either way, you have Venus, who again, like I told y'all, been sitting right here with Scorpio. Okay, and we have 7th house. So Libra is a balanced and harmonious diplomat. Beauty and art are important. So a lot of beauty and art, because we started with the hummingbird. Not gonna hold you. And it's important because, what is it? Wait a minute. Beauty and the arts are important to this charming lover. Okay, not so important to this person though. Not gonna hold you. Not gonna leave that out. But let's focus. Fair and cooperative. This sign keeps the peace and seeks equality and partnership. Oh, okay. So y'all on some partnership stuff today, group 4? Okay, Spirit say yeah. Okay, so okay. That's why y'all the zodiac group. Okay. It seeks equality and partnership. Relationships of all kind benefit from this even-handed companionship. So I love that for you. Your transformation and your good news, your boon, your fortune. I think group 4, we pointing toward love, relationship, fairness, and partnership. Now, you also have Capricorn coming out. So let's see if the vibe stays the same when I say it's going to take discipline and work. So we have Saturn, Earth, Cardinal, receptive, because we had a lot of active in that shuffle. But we have receptive, and we also have 10th house. I think I did see 10th house in the shuffle. So let's see. Structure and discipline come naturally to Capricorn. This wise elder knows that dedicated work ensures the fruit of labor. Didn't I talk about the water and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Mature and grounded, this earth sign climbs the ladder of success and is rooted in stability. So for some of you guys, if I were to give you a collective message about how transformative this new beginning was going to be for you, hold on to your boots. Okay, so we have ladder of success rooted in stability, and we have for your endurance, perseverance, and dedication. You best believe by the solar eclipse and the new moon, a dream comes true. And I feel like that dream could be connected to Let me see. Hold on. Let's say a new connection. And if you say, well, I don't just want no connection, I don't care about no connection, then come back and talk to me, child. But I feel like group 4, and I don't get this a lot for y'all. It talks about you being a leader of the age of Aquarius, and it's based on some sort of, if you have a career or a talent. Okay, boom. So I was like, let me not leave everybody else out and say everybody getting a connection. But there's a strong energy for connections. But those of you that have gifts and abilities in communication, music, poetry, arts, you guys are going to thrive there and have success due to your dedication and perseverance. Okay, so I hope that helps. Until next time.